Everybody, it's Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming. It is Thursday, August the 5th, and this means it is time for another Outriders Dev News Thursday. In today's episode, slightly related, slightly not, we welcome a brand new Leeroy to the family. And when it comes to Outriders news, it's got 99 problems, but the 99% progress bug ain't one. So updates on the status of the patch and more right after this. Okay, so I want to start with a little bit of a personal channel news here. For those of you that did not see my community post or my Discord announcement, my wife and I just yesterday welcomed our latest member to the clan, baby Emmerich. So if I look a little tired and beat up, it's because I really haven't slept much the last day or two. So videos will be a little slow, and my stream on twitch.tv/Leeroy Gaming stream is taking a break this week. I plan to be back online when it comes to making additional videos and also streaming starting with Monday. I believe it's August the 9th here. So things should be back to normal, and I should actually be able to hopefully make some additional videos, a little bit more rapid pace, as I'll be taking about 8 weeks of paternity leave, and that should be good for the channel. Now, let's jump right into the post that was put up today on Reddit. So there's some good news, and there's just also some bad news. So patch news. We know that you were hoping for patch release today. We were hoping for it too. Unfortunately, due to ongoing crash on boot issue, let's continue to block the release. The latest patch will not be arriving this week. As I mentioned in my video last week, this bug seems to, I know they're saying they're worried about it coming in this new patch. I think this got introduced in the last patch, because I've had a couple times where this occurred and it never occurred before. So, I mean, I hope they figure it out as soon as possible. If this new patch would have made this impact even more people, it would have been horrible, because this even stressed me out, and I'm very, very patient when it comes to Outriders and games I like in general. So, as they're saying, as our investigation of the crash has progressed, have implemented a number of targeted hotfixes onto the latest patch build, but they have proved ineffective against the issues we're focused on in particular. Each hotfix itself can take a couple of days to develop, cook, and be tested, and our teams have continued to work tirelessly, including the past weekend, and work may well continue through this upcoming weekend, and as it kind of needs to. Now, I want to add a little bit of commentary here, as they're kind of mentioning how these can take a couple of days, etc. For those of you that don't know how kind of game development generally occurs, once a game is released like this, especially one that isn't really meant to be a live service game, the amount of people that are working on patches and updates like this are a very small fraction of the original team working on the game. I know sometimes individuals have unrealistic expectations, like, oh, why don't you just have a bunch of people work on it so it happens quickly? But again, while I have no idea how many exact people they may be working on these patches, it could be very possible that it's only a couple of people, a handful of people, maybe 2, 5, 6, maybe 10 people. Generally, it's just a much smaller fraction of the team. If a game has like a live service effect where, you know, they have all these extra levels of monetization that basically allow for the funding of extra developers on a current build of a game, then things may be different. But because this game does not have that element, you probably have a small amount of team members working really, really hard, crazy hours to get this fixed for us. So again, I just ask you to be patient. My guess is if there are other parts of the team that are working on this game, it's probably on whatever they're planning on next. Maybe an expansion, maybe a sequel. I mean, I don't know. They haven't said anything other that there's going to be more in the Outriders universe. So I just wanted to throw that in really quick. Now, our greatest challenge here is the fact that the crash issue is inconsistent. Only certain PCs appear to be affected, and those not even consistently. Without a pattern, it's very hard to understand a trigger and fix against that. And I just want to emphasize that is kind of a nightmare of coding, because not only is this an issue, but sometimes they'll fix something and it introduces another problem. Very, very common. And a lot of times companies are they don't communicate about this behind closed doors. but I really appreciate people can fly that they're at least communicating about this. However, yesterday we did make some strides towards unlocking further crash logs, something which has been difficult so far. Crash logs give us hope and ideas for future or further hotfixes to resolve the issues, taking today and tomorrow to build and test a few new hotfixes against these particular logs. So they're talking about basically unlocking the ability of getting data related to a crash. It sounds like they weren't able to access everything, or maybe what they were able to access on a crash log was much more limiting than we perceived. Should these hotfixes prove effective, we could be in a position to release the patch early next week. So read Tuesday. That's if things go well. But this is a very tentative hope. Only today, tomorrow, and the weekends for the testing will be able to further confirm that. We know this is going to be disappointing to read. However, we do not want to release a patch that potentially destabilizes the game further and is detrimental to your experience. So they're very, very aware that every time any new issues are involved, people, the vocal minority, go off the rails. Unfortunately, then those are the people that also end up making articles and videos about it, and that ends up kind of really exponentially creating a much more negative impact on the game and its health than any positive effect that could have been gained from rushing a patch out. So we will only want to release the patch once we are fully satisfied that would benefit players and builds on the progress we have made on the game since launch. So again, it looks like they're going to be working tirelessly probably throughout this week into the weekend. Let's cross our fingers for the best. Now, I did want to point out they also have some general news. So let's take a look at that because that is changing or going to be coming up here. So stuck at 99% Accolade progress bug resolution. So we are today developing a server-side fix that is aimed to automatically healing accounts whereby players might have their overall Accolade progress stuck at 99%. No maintenance is required for this to go live. Why is this important? This is important because for those of you that don't know, once you get 100% accolades, you unlock an emote where you sit in a giant throne. It's really, really cool looking. It's basically the throne from the Colosseum level. So if you do the Colosseum expedition at the very end, where kind of the little overlord is sitting, the one that gets sniped in the little end cutscene, that throne, that golden and blue throne, you get that as an emote. It's really, really cool. Thank you for Clunky Penguin for discovering this for the first time. And then he rubs it in every time we do a run together, showing it off. So those of you that were stuck in 99%, hopefully this will fix it and you can have your thrones. The below news is similar to last week's general news, but it continues to be relevant, including it here again. So basically, there are a couple of things that they're working on. I'm just going to cover a couple of them real quick for those that are just jumping on. State of Stadia. So if you're wondering what's going on with Stadia support, Stadia still needs to be brought in line with other platforms with regards to fixes, bug resolution, and crossplay support. So translation, it's just way behind the time. If you play this on Stadia, it's going to be a much worse experience than any other platform. My translation to this is also because it has such a low population base compared to Xbox or general PC or PlayStation that it's they're not leveraging the support for this right now because they probably have limited resources. Makes sense. We are continuing to do this work on aligning all platforms, but do not yet have a definite date for when this will be possible. We appreciate that work is taking longer than expected and do apologize. Other things that they're working on, matchmaking privacy settings may be setting themselves to open without input from players. So they had fixed this before, and something has caused it to go back to open. I've noticed that as well. Sign-in problems with Xbox, they're working on that. Mods and resources may be lost. So I haven't heard about this before, but this is new, I think, to this list. This issue appears to be quite rare, making it very hard for us to reproduce and identify the issue. So they're basically saying if you have an issue where you're losing mods and resources, to follow the support link here. And remember, as always, I'm going to have a link to this actual post within the description. Sprinting of your sprint option set to hold instead of toggle may cause the player character to drift to the side. Interesting. Sounds like you need to get a tire alignment or something in game. This one again, this is a big one. For those of you that are still frustrated why this happens to you, it's not your graphic card, it's not your computer. Entering the drained lake during the third enemy encounter in a Scorched Lands expedition may cause players to stutter. So this is the very, very last area of Scorched Lands where you hit the lever and the water drains down. And once you go into that area, it has a pretty big stuttering effect. So they still have issues with certain enemies, like alphas, breaking out of frozen CC as soon as they get damaged, which is frustrating for any kind of frozen builds, especially with them changing and fixing the Borealis Tundra mod, because that's a big part of their damage. Seeing what else potentially is new here. There are certain mods, and they're not listing them specifically for the most part. There are certain mods that are still not working consistently. I'm sure once we get past this initial patch and we go to more of the changes to skills patch, they're going to be providing more info. Grand opening mod and other mods may not activate when a player uses their last magazine. Using the tier 3 armor mod pain transfer, either tier 2 or tier 3 damage link, mod drastically reduces frame rates. So with the buff to pain transfer, this may be more popular. Damage link, I don't think has been the most popular mod. There's other DPS mods that are better for weapons. But if you happen to use this combo because you may think they just instinctively work well together, do know if you're having a lot of issues, swap off of it. There are definitely better mods than damage link, especially right now with these bugs. There's issues with the Trickster class, quite a few issues that have been getting better. But again, they may be able to revive others or be revived themselves in multiplayer if using borrowed time in expeditions. I'm guessing that has something to do with the way that buff functions. Technomancer, I have never had a turret fall to the ground for Technomancer, but apparently that happens. Technomancer Plague Sower set does not consistently apply its bonus. Again, if you happen to be using that set, the journals and the rest of them are kind of visual bugs for the most part here. So that's the news for today. Let's cross our fingers. Hopefully Tuesday the patch will come through, and then we can move forward to some of the more and more content based patches. As always, hopefully you guys are enjoying these updates. I will be having more build videos and more guide videos coming out starting next week. If you want to support the channel, always like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. If you like the cool swag we have here and you like to support the channel, you can always purchase any of the t-shirts, the cups we have, etc. There is a store link below. That's a great way to support us. And again, I'll be back to streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Leeroy Gaming Stream starting this coming Monday, August the 9th. If you want to come in, chat, hang out, get some free carries, and just have a good time with a good crew of people. Leeroy from Leeroy Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video.